All right. What's up, everybody? It's Rafael Lovato Jr. Really excited to have all you with me today. I'm going to teach you some great stuff from the guard today. And here to assist me is my #1 black belt, Justin Rader. I'm really happy to have him here to help out. And, if this is some of your guys' first times to be on a webinar with me, basically how it's going to work is I'm just going to kind of teach you like a regular class. And we're going to go through some techniques that I have in store for you guys. And as we move through those techniques, I'll take any questions about those moves as we go. And then after I'm done showing you what I have on my plate, you guys can ask me any questions that you have, kind of random open-ended questions that we can look to get into. I'm really thankful to have all our guests joining us today. We have, a lot of my monthly members from my site here with us on this webinar, as well as a lot of guests who are a part of the VIP list for the Guard Mastery Series being released tomorrow, and really happy to have all of you guys with us today as well. So got some great stuff in store. I'm ready to get into it, but first off, what I always like to do is just to make sure that you guys can see me and hear me okay, and everything looks good on your end, and you guys are ready to go. So if you can, just put a little comment, a little post there on the stream, and let me know that you guys can hear and see me okay, and we'll get started here in just a minute or so. Okay, guys, looks like we're coming in loud and clear. Everyone can see and hear me okay? So let's get started, all right? Today, the theme, as you guys saw, is about combining sweeps and submission attacks together from our guard, or submissions and sweeps, okay? One way or another, we're looking to set up these sort of combinations from our guard today. I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite ways to attack with both sweeps and submissions, and they're all pretty simple, but I think this is a really important aspect of playing guard that a lot of people don't focus enough on. Especially nowadays, most people are very focused purely on just the sweep itself, on getting the sweep, getting 2 points, and playing from there. I love getting the sweep myself, and I like to sweep right into a good passing position and start to apply my passing from there. But, it's very important to remember about the submission attacks that oftentimes we neglect or don't see because we get so caught up on just the sweep attacks only. All right, so I have a couple of different ways that I like to play with the hand in the collar and with the spider guard with the double sleeves that we can attack both sweeps and submissions together, and we're not just focused only on the sweep, okay? So let's get started. So we're going to start off playing from the hand in the collar, kind of a sit-up guard. This is a guard I really like to use a lot. I love having the hand in the collar, breaking down the guy's posture, being able to attack his neck, and obviously there's a lot of sweeps I can do from there as well. Okay, and we're going to start off looking at a very simple combination. Okay, so we're going to start off here where I have my hand in the cross collar. Okay, my right hand in the cross collar here, and we're going to say that he's kind of maybe grabbing my leg, and he's focused on, getting ready to get up and move around and run around my legs, okay? Here I have a wide open neck, all right? If he's this low, this is a great time for me to attack his neck, all right? And this happens a lot. And we can do this a couple of different ways, all right? And I'm attacking the neck with the purpose of trying to finish, okay? It's very important. Anytime that you're doing a combination, it's very important that you really go for the first attack. That way, you create that reaction necessary to be able to go for your combination, okay? So, from here, we're going to start off real simple. I want to make sure I keep a little bit of an angle. If I'm too much in front, it can make it a little harder for me to reach for the cross choke, and that's one of my favorite attacks to do from here. So I'm going to sit a little bit off to the side, okay? If he was a little more in the front, you guys would see that I sit a little bit off to the side here, okay? That way I can still attack this side of his neck, all right? So my goal is, as I'm moving, just to make sure that my arm is under his chin, okay? And I'm going to come with my second hand directly on top, almost like I'm going to pat him on the back, okay? I'm just going to pat him on the back here, and then grab a chunk of the cloth right there in my hand, right there next to his neck, okay? So make sure you don't grab too close to his shoulders and too far away from his neck, okay? Grab right on the neck as deep as you can, all right? Now from here, let's just kind of talk about finishing the choke itself, okay? From here, I'm going to start to bring my elbow in, and I'm going to use my feet to scoot in and pull him into a butterfly guard. From here, I can use my hooks to kind of extend him and make him kind of lose his base and balance, so he can't really push off and defend that well. From here, a lot of times I like to come around with my leg. So since I have my right hand in the collar first, I bring my right leg around his back, and now I can work squeezing and finishing the choke. So if we watch from the side, I make sure I have my angle, all right? This is really good, especially when they're moving this way, okay? Here, I go for my chop here, kind of slapping him on the back, getting my cloth grip, immediately scooting in into my butterfly. Look how I can extend his legs and make it hard for him to bring his knees in and push my arms, okay? If I'm too relaxed there and he slides his knees in, then he has more strength to use his arms to push on my arms. So when I spread him out, now his arms are on the mat, and he can't defend my choke attack, okay? From here, I can keep the butterfly hooks, or I could come around his back, kind of pinch him with my knee, keep him down low, and here I'm squeezing and finishing with the choke, just right down along my chest and ribs here, okay? So, what's the combination, okay? One of the other favorite moves that I like to do from the cross collar is what I like to call the face plant, okay? And this is a very powerful move. Some of you, my members, have already seen this on the coaching site. We've already talked about this technique a little bit. Very, very powerful move. What my idea is to see, okay, maybe I already really threatened his neck good one time, and he's not going to have it. So anytime he sees my hands coming here, he right away lets go and looks to push and free, my arm from his neck, okay? As soon as he lets go and he kind of raises up to block my arm, I'm immediately going to switch and put my leg out, okay? So I was kind of in this sitting posture here with my right knee up, since my right hand's in the collar. I'm going to reach out with my leg and use my hand on the mat, okay? From here, I'm going to scoot as far over to the side towards my foot as possible so that my body is outside of his body, okay? As I do that, as I throw myself over to the side, I'm going to pull him to where I used to be. Now this opens up the opportunity for me to take his back, or a lot of times people will kind of roll over to their back to make sure they can catch you in their guard and not expose their back. Okay, so in that case it'll be a quick sweep. Otherwise, we're looking to take their back with it. Okay, so it's very simple. Okay, make sure you have an angle, and when you have him in the collar, always look to threaten their neck. Okay, the more that you can bother them and make them have to respect the neck attack, the less they're going to try to come in and pressure you. Okay, if he tries to come in and he feels tight neck attacks every time, he's going to want to stay away more. He's going to want to push away, block my hands, and think twice about putting that pressure on me. So that means that he's only going to stay in one distance away from you. okay, which makes it much more predictable and makes it easier for me to play my guard. All right, I don't have to worry so much about him moving in and out. He's probably just going to stay out because he's going to be worried about his neck. All right, so having a hand in the collar and attacking their neck can be just as much defense as what it is offense. All right, anytime he wants to come in, I'm going to be working offense, but it's going to be defense in the fact that he can't purely focus on passing anymore. He has to respect the neck attack. Okay, so let's say that I go with the hand on the collar. You know, I start to maybe scoot in to look to finish. He pops that off and leans back really high. Immediately, I put my hand out and my leg out at the same time, okay? From here, big motion of throwing your body as far towards your foot as possible. Okay? I'm moving towards my foot here, all right? And as I lift and throw my hip over, it's almost like I'm throwing a reverse elbow, okay? Like I'm elbowing someone behind me. I'm going to get all my body weight power into that motion to drag him across, where now I can be on his back. Or like I said, a lot of times they'll fall over and get their guard going, and right away I can look to circle and pass and get my passing going before he has a chance to keep up with what just happened, okay? Another way you can do the same attack is by using the loop choke, okay? Another great neck attack for us to do here whenever we have the hand in the collar, all right? Especially whenever he wants to come in, okay? So in this one, it's important that I get my arm to his chest, okay? I kind of fold my wrist, all right, so I can get, just like I'm about to do a guillotine, like I'm snapping his head down into a guillotine. Very, very similar move, okay? And this one I can do if I'm a little more in front, all right? So from here, I'm just going to kind of fold my wrist to get my arm under his chin, and now I'm going to come over top, and I'm going to kind of club his head a little bit. So this part of my arm is what's knocking his head down, right at the top part of his head, okay? Not behind where his neck is strong, okay? I don't want to use my hand here. He can resist it, okay? I'm going to really kind of club his head down, and now my hand is closer to me being able to get it under my elbow right away, okay? This can actually go in like a three-part combination, all right? So I like to look for the loop choke. I know he's going to let go and push my elbow. As he does that and he brings his head out, I like to switch this into the collar choke. From here on, maybe I'll be able to suck this in and finish. If he's able to block my grip right away, then I'm moving out and going for my drag, and now looking for his back or taking the sweep if he gives it to me. Okay? So one more time that series. So look how I fold my wrist in. Okay? Here, it's very important. I want to do that really fast because he might notice that and feel himself in danger. So I'm going to bring that in and knock his head over all at the same time, coming in for my loop choke. All right? This could be a finisher. But usually they're able to kind of see it coming and knock their arm off. And a lot of times I'll just fold that over into now going for a cross choke. See how my hand got deep? Here, maybe I can scoot in and look to finish this. Okay? Maybe I got this close, and he's still strong enough to back away and start to free and get himself out. Immediately I'm letting go, changing my angle, and going into my drag, and now looking for the back or taking the sweep. All right? So, you know, very simple attacks, especially the cross choke. You know, that's one of the first submissions that you guys learn. But, you know, one thing I think is lost is attacking cross choke from the guard. All right? Everyone knows that it's a great attack to do when you're mounted on top of someone. Excuse me. But it's also a very underutilized attack from the guard. And it's a great way to get people's hands coming up here. It's a great way to make them think twice about coming in and putting pressure on you. And the more that we can kind of distract them with the cross choke attack, then the more things that can open up, like this drag right here. All right? So I really like this combination. Next, we're going to look at kind of going in the reverse, doing a sweep and then going to submission instead of a submission into a sweep. But you guys let me know if you like this technique, and if you have any questions, we'll look over that and then move to our next series. Okay? Okay, so I see a little bit of a few questions on there, and you know, I just want to make sure everyone kind of understands. At this point now, really all you do is you just type in your questions. This is your first webinar with me. You're not necessarily on the mat working these techniques right now in between, as we go from one technique to the next. All you're doing is asking questions. I highly suggest having a notebook so you can take notes and write down some key points. So when you go back and drill and review, you're all set with your notes right there. But yeah, basically you're just asking questions, okay? And I did have one question from Andres, one of our top online students. He's asking, how deep do we go for the loop choke compared to the X choke, okay? Very good question, all right? They're both relatively the same place as far as, my depth, okay? However, with the loop choke, it helps to be just a little bit lower so we can have the room to kind of wrap around his neck, all right? So, it's important that I can have this sort of fold. If I'm too deep, this can actually make it hard to do both, okay? Let's turn this way. So if I'm too deep, this can make it hard to do both because now it's easier for his chin to be inside my arm, okay? So now I'm not going to be able to do either one, all right? I want to be pretty low. I like to be able to use my knuckles and my fists kind of in his neck and in his collarbone a little bit to keep distance and space, all right? Then I can always let it go and bring him in whenever I want, all right? But really just right under, kind of the middle part of his neck is where I want to be. This way I can fold and come around for the loop choke easily, and I can also go for the X choke as well, okay? With the X choke, it's very important that the second hand goes really deep, all right? And from here, the squeeze is just a little bit different. I'm not going straight down. I'm going to be on my side. I'm going to be pulling more kind of one down to the mat and the other one across, a little more like this, okay? So in the end, you see how I'm on my side a little bit, okay? This is very important. If I go too flat, here, it's a whole lot easier for him to defend and get his chin in, okay? So I want to be on the side so my right arm stays in tight and my left arm is kind of squeezing his neck into my right arm on this side and pulling down at the same time. So it's kind of down and out as the other one pulls across, all right? So it's a little different, and this way is really tight. And then you can always add the leg over the back to help really kind of hold the position tight. But, otherwise you don't need to be too deep. I don't like to be too deep. I want to be able to kind of keep him away and make him feel somewhat comfortable and allow me to come under his chin when I need to be, okay? Someone also asked, how could you do this sort of same thing, no gi, all right? We are focused on the gi today, but just so you know, like I said, the loop choke is very similar to the guillotine. I have very similar combinations with my no-gi game as well for my guard, okay? Which will pretty much be me looking for a snap-down guillotine, all right? Any way that he pushes out of the snap-down guillotine, I am now going to go into an arm drag, all right? And look to drag him and take it back here. Pretty much the exact same thing, just without the gi, all right? So, that can give you guys an idea of how to play with your no-gi game as well, looking to attack the neck and then set up the feet at the same time, all right? So I'm going to check one more time, see if there's any other questions, and then we're going to go to our next combination, all right? Okay, so one more time, just to reiterate how the face plant works. I call the move where we drag them to the mat a face plant, all right? Pretty much because my idea is to make his face go straight into the mat. Like his head's a seat, and we're planting his head into the mat, so face plant, okay? Very, very powerful move. You know, it's pretty much the same as an arm drag, but we're using the collar instead. Okay, so it's like a collar drag. Some people might call it the collar drag. All right. The most important thing about this, guys, is that we get outside of where they are, okay, and where we used to be. If I do the same motion, but I don't really throw myself out to the side, if I just twist and stay right here, when I pull, I'm going to pull here kind of right on top of me in my half guard, okay? Definitely not what I want. So the most important thing is that you really move and shift your body out, okay, and kind of have a full commitment to it as well, all right? If you go halfway, then you don't really get the same results, okay? And if you do this and the person doesn't expect it or doesn't know that they're in danger of it, you know, you really can plant their face into the mat, all right? I've seen people get mat burn on their face because they weren't ready for this, all right? So remember, you know, we set up off the attack. As soon as his hand comes off and he's pushing away, that's our time to immediately go to the side. You see, I'm really crunching and reaching for the side. And I use my foot here and my hand, or my fist here, and my foot here to raise myself off the mat. And then, one motion, I throw my body over to the side, all the way as far as I can. So here I'm outside of him, okay? So if you watch this from the front, so I have a little bit of an angle to attack, then I'm letting go, big reach, throw yourself all the way out, and then I pull, okay, to where I used to be, all right? So someone was asking, you know, what exactly was the face plant? Just wanted to clarify that a little bit with you there, and now you have, you know, all the details of the first combination, attacking the neck, and then going to the face plant, okay? So let's go ahead and move into our next combination. This time we're going to switch the order. We're going to go starting with the sweep, and then go into a neck attack. Once again, it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to use the hand and the collar again, so we're going to end off with the collar choke, all right, cross collar choke. So, one thing that I really like is that this is, to me, this is like a butterfly guard, okay, but it's a safer version. I like to make sure I have good distance, all right, and reaching for the belt a lot of times allows him to come inside on me as all the pressure passing, owners know that, you know, that's where a lot of my game starts to come from, is getting inside into their half guard, forcing half guard from them. So for me, I feel much more comfortable using the hand and the collar and making this kind of my butterfly, all right? Now I can keep better distance, I can threaten his neck, and I can still do a lot of sweeps, all right? And that's what we're going to look at now. We're going to start off with a hook sweep attack, okay? As we do this hook sweep, we know he's going to base, all right? And then off the base, we're going to go to a collar choke. So, I'm here. All I'm looking to do, actually, let's start with this. All I'm looking to do, first thing, is to get control of his sleeve, all right? It's not going to be hard, okay? Usually they're holding your leg, maybe he's holding my collar, and I can control his sleeve more low towards the hand, all right, than at the elbow, okay? A little more at the wrist, all right? And I'm going to kind of fold this in, all right? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a pull, and if I can get my chin under his neck, that will help me bring him to me, okay, and get his weight forward. Now, I'm going to turn and rotate directly to my shoulder, to the side, okay? And I'm going to load him up onto my right foot, okay, onto my hook. And it's very important that I keep my knee outside his wrist as I do it. So I'm going to turn and load him up onto my leg. Now, you know, this is a sweep. I can just hook sweep him over, come on top. I love the sweeps from the cross collar because that means I'm going to land with the cross collar, allow me to start my passing straight from here, okay? But, you know, as we all know, people, when they sense that sweep coming, they're going to base with their leg, they're going to base with their arm, they're going to base everything they can to not get swept, all right? So I turn, I lift, and I go, and he's basing, all right? And I feel stuck, okay? From here, I have the perfect angle, okay? He's shifted over to the side. All I'm going to do is I'm going to let go of his arm, and I'm going to come over top and immediately grip that same area of the gi that we just did before, okay? Now from here, I'm going to start to scoot in. Once again, still staying on my side, but now I'm going to activate both my butterfly hooks so I can stretch him out, and once again, get to the finishing position here, or you can throw your leg around the back and finish here. So this is another one of my favorite ways to attack the neck. This is really great whenever someone's coming a little more forward. Yeah, he's leaning a little bit, okay? This is the best time where I'm going to chop his arm, turn, and load him up, okay? Now from here, when I feel his base, you know, he's kind of low, he's a little shorter than me, so I might not want to go underneath in the X guard. Maybe I want to take advantage of attacking his neck. So my arm's going to immediately come right over. And because he's so far forward, my arm got set in under his neck. So it's really tight right away. Once I bring the second grip, my hands are flexed. I start to suck him in, scoop just a little bit to where I can use my butterfly hooks to stretch him. And now here I'm ready to squeeze and finish. Bring the leg over and take it home. So again, you know, here I feel his leg coming forward. At this time, I like to go all in one motion. Catch that arm and turn and create the angle all together. Here. He did so strong he almost went over. Okay? But now I got the base. Come back with the hand on the collar. Or, I'm sorry, hand on the gi, just the claw. Okay? Don't take the time to put your thumb in. Just back. Catch the neck. Scoot in. Start to use your hooks. And here we have the finish. Okay? And just so you know, the nice thing about this is the angle is so good that a lot of times, even if he did block my arm a little bit and maybe keep me from finishing here, I can climb up very easily and look to switch into omoplatas and maybe a triangle and other attacks. I just have such a great angle, okay? It's very important that you stay on your side, okay? I'm here, and that really, you know, when he bases and he's going forward, his neck will come forward, his head will come forward. And so I'm going to be in the perfect spot to immediately make this tight, all right? Kind of scoot in, adjust where I can use my hooks, and start my slow, constant squeeze, okay? Make sure you don't just go kind of crazy in the beginning, okay? First, very slow, just kind of blocking it in, and then generally, you know, or progressively make it tighter, okay, as you're going, all right? Don't go 0 to 100, okay? But here, I'm always on my side, so my angle's so good, a lot of times I can scoot a little bit, boom, throw my leg over to the omoplata, and really stay on the attack. But if someone's not used to being attacked with a cross choke, you know, this is a great way to catch them by surprise. They have to base, they're going to expose their neck, and, you know, a lot of people go to sleep on this one, actually, because they don't want to pass to something so simple, all right? And they want to keep trying to pass. They feel like, oh, I'm so close to passing, and a lot of people go out. So, you know, this is a great way to catch them by surprise, all right? So let me know if you have any questions on this combination. Okay, see a couple questions coming in. First was a question about his left arm basing, and if it goes across. So if I go to sweep, even if he bases a little bit over to the side with your left arm, like, yeah, here, no, that's not going to block, okay? I'm still going to come through and grab the neck just the same, all right? I'll just come over the arm and grab the neck here, and in fact, I feel like this would be even a little tighter. Because he doesn't even have the ability to push off me at all at this point. whereas usually that hand's going to be over here, and you're going to probably try to push my arm a little bit. So, no, that's not going to stop. You still come in, make the same grip. Here, I'm still going to finish this just the same, okay? Let's see, we had another question as well. Oh, what if they clear our legs, okay? Make sure that you really use your butterfly hooks, all right? I don't want to risk, like, him passing the side control and staying with it, just as if it was a guillotine, okay? If they get to the side, you've lost the choke, all right? So once I slide in, actually, let's look at the other way. You guys can see my feet. Okay, so if I do the whole thing again, I load them up, I take the neck, and I scoot in. My feet and legs are very active here, and I'm going to stretch him out, okay? So now he really can't move at all. So I'm going to keep good control. He's not going to be able to just pass here, all right? He would definitely have to use his arm on my legs somehow to do that, and that's just going to allow me to set the choke in even more, okay? He's going to use his hands to block the choke. So I should definitely be able to keep him in the guard here, okay? Yeah, it's slightly more risky to take this out, but I like it because then I can kind of squeeze it into the choke a little more. And even if he, was able to resist this, all right, let's turn it side now. Even if I felt like he was able to resist this so good, I don't want to let him just be in the half guard, okay? So when I start to feel that I'm going to lose it, I can use my foot on the mat and scoot away just a little bit. Now I'm going to bring my foot onto his hip. So if you raise up, you can see that I kind of snuck my foot out and put it onto his hip. This way I have protection. I can keep him away. And the nice thing is, whenever we're here, if his arm was around my body, like this, when I let go, I can turn this into an omoplata because I have that foot on the hip down there, okay? Whereas if I didn't have that foot on the hip, now maybe he can come far forward and keep me from getting that omoplata and maybe start getting to my half guard, all right? But, otherwise, you can keep double hooks in, double butterfly hooks in. This is great. Professor Sean Gibeto, he loves to do it this way. He'll really stretch you out and get your neck, and it's really hard to defend. A lot of times I like to come around and squeeze them here as well. And if I feel any danger, I can just scoot away, get my foot onto the hip, and now maybe look to attack the arm, all right? So, I wouldn't go for it if I didn't feel like I had my butterfly hooks, because I don't want them to jump around and pass. But with the butterfly hooks, we have good control, and you can spread them out and make them kind of lose all their base and, really fall into the choke even stronger, all right? And like I said before, having hand on the collar, anytime someone tries to come into my half guard and put pressure on me, I'm always looking to attack their neck, all right? Like I said, it's just as much of an offensive move as it is a defensive move. But you'd be surprised how many times you can find it and get it, especially with, people who aren't used to someone doing that sort of attack, okay? It's really basic, and a lot of people kind of forget about it, especially from the open guard. Mount people know, closed guard people know, but the open guard, when you have a hand on the collar, you have 50% of that choke already, all right? So you should always be looking for the opportunity to put your hand there and really go for it, okay? And the more you get them pushing away and staying away, then the less danger you are going to be in having your guard pass, and more things are going to open up for you, all right? Let me know if you have any other questions. So it looks like everyone's ready to go. Glad you guys are enjoying the material so far. Now we're going to change games up a little bit, okay? So we've been working with the cross collar, and I think you guys can see why I really love the cross collar. There's so many great entries into sweeps off of it too. It's a huge, huge part of my game, all right? And I really lay it all out in my Guard Mastery series, okay? And all my online members have already seen that material and have been working on it. The results coming in have been really great, and I'm excited to release the official DVD set for it tomorrow. Just so everyone knows, make sure you sign up for the VIP list, okay? The first 500 people that order my Guard Mastery DVD set that's being released tomorrow is going to receive the set for a 50% discount, okay? 50% off and free shipping, all right? So you're going to save a ton of money. So make sure that you sign up on the list. It's right there on the page. You guys have already seen the emails about it, I'm sure. Make sure you sign up for the VIP list and be one of the first 500 people notified about the DVD set, so you can jump on the opportunity to get it for a huge discount, all right? And you'll see all of this stuff plus way more, okay? Now, one of the other aspects on my Guard Mastery set is the Spider Guard, okay? That's one of my other favorite guard games to play, particularly because of the ability to attack both sweeps and submissions, all right? I'm not too much into any other guard game where you can't do both, all right, as far as grips. My favorite grips, double sleeve and collar and sleeve, all right, because that's where I can be aggressive for both, all right, sweeps and submissions. So let's talk about a really nice combination that we can use from the Spider Guard, where we're going to use a sweep to set up either a triangle or, at the high level, usually we're going to go to the omoplata, okay? So, just a couple basic details real fast. I really want to make sure I keep my knees tight together here, so when he reaches my leg, I can also reach his feet, okay? This is very important. I immediately want to start to put myself in position, okay? So I'm going to circle my right foot here into his bicep, and I'm going to start to extend my leg on that side. And you'll see how that shifts me to my right side. So when I extend my right foot in the bicep, I turn to my right. Now I have lots of room over here to kick and break that grip off of my other leg, okay? Now this leg can do many different things. It's going to help me break grips. It's going to help me keep good distance, okay? I'm going to use this foot on the mat to scoot away a lot, all right? And now I'm pretty much set up to go for our sweep, okay? This is a pretty well-known sweep. I think a lot of people know this sweep. I like to call it the hammer sweep, all right? It's almost like the Spider Guard's version of the scissor sweep, okay? From here, I'm going to create a little bit of momentum by rocking my left leg, and I'm going to swing and pivot all the way into my left side. To help me do that, I'm going to bend my right leg. So as I start to go, I bend my right leg and I kind of step on his bicep to help me lift my foot up and turn all the way to my left side. Once I hit my left side, okay, from here, I'm going to kick his bicep, I'm going to pull his sleeve, and I'm going to kick his leg down on the bottom of the mat. Okay, my leg slides and grazes the bottom of the mat here, where when I do all three of those motions together, I can knock them over and get a sweep directly to mouth. This is a very strong sweep. Very powerful. A lot of times they'll even kind of know what's coming, but they can't, they can't base and stop themselves from falling over. All right. So I get my foot in the bicep, I extend that side, turning me over to my right, and then I kick and break that grip off. Here I don't care if he holds my collar. All right. It's not a problem. We can break this off, but it doesn't really matter for the sweep. So I'll let him keep it when I want to go for the sweep. Okay. But next thing, make sure that you have good distance. You see how I scoot myself away. Look how that folds him over a little more. It also gives me a lot more room to spin and kick his leg, okay? If he's too close, it can affect my leverage. So from here, now I can swing. You see how I kind of step on his arm here? So I'm on my side, kick, and pull, all right? Let's turn to the side, see the other way. So if I didn't get too much distance and I went for the sweep and he's right here so close, look how he's all the way up on my thigh. Okay, my thigh is hitting his knee and it's a little too tight. for me to really turn his shoulders to the side, okay? So I scoot away a lot when I play fight. Scoot away a lot, all right? That way he has to follow me, and it keeps my tension strong. And then when I want to attack this sweep, I have the right amount of space. Look now how it's my cat kicking at his knee, okay? So I go kick, kick, and pull the sweep all together, and that knocks him over and allows me to come on top. So that's the sweep, okay? You know, a lot of people can adjust their base well. You know, maybe they see it coming, and they don't, you know, they don't fall for the sweep. Or maybe we just knock them over and they get up really fast, okay? That's okay, all right? We've created a reaction, all right? And I'm ready to combine my attacks with this move, all right? With the double sleeve, great attacks that we're going to have is the triangle or the omoplata, okay? So let's talk about that. So we'll say that I did everything right, but maybe he kind of just spread his base a little bit, you know, and I didn't get the full reaction. Maybe I didn't commit to it all the way, and I just kind of got stuck here, all right? Well, we're going to go about this two different ways, okay? First, we'll talk about the triangle, all right? I'm going to slide my foot up to his hip. From here, I'm going to shoot my right leg over and elevate my hip, pulling him and lifting myself into that triangle and locking and now looking for the finish, okay? It's very important that I shoot my hip and I don't just shoot my legs. If I shoot my legs and I don't bring my hip to his shoulders, there's too much space for him to duck his head out or get his elbow in. So I have to shoot my hip to it as I'm pulling him in to help close that distance even faster, and then I can break him down, look to grab my shin, and finish the triangle. Now, at the higher level, it's much harder to catch guys in triangles. They have that kind of sixth sense, okay, where they know, oh, triangle's coming, and they're great at ducking their head and only giving you, like, the top part of the triangle and, you know, making you have it to combine it with something else, all right? So, knowing that, I usually look to go for the omoplata. Omoplata is one of my favorite techniques to attack from, and it's right here ready to go for us, okay? So, actually, let's turn this way. So, I go for that sweep. He keeps his base well, all right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to almost do the exact same thing in reverse. I was just stepping on this arm and kicking it to take him over. Once I feel like he didn't go over, I'm going to step on it again. And you see how that turns him back over to the other side. As I do that, I'm going to pivot my hip and start to bring my knee behind his arm, right at his shoulder, okay? And then I'm going to kick my leg over, all right? Now, I'm ready to go and start to sit up and look to finish the omoplata. So it's a real simple side to side, okay? I look to sweep to my left, and I come back to the omoplata, shifting my weight back to the right. All right? So scoot away. I go for the sweep. He base. Now I'm going to step back on his arm, taking his weight back to the other side. You see how I pivot my body at the same time, pulling his arm. And here, I'll finish off with the kick. Okay? Let me do this a little faster now. You guys can see what it would look like for real. Right here. Now, we can also take this into the situation where maybe he falls over and then gets back up really fast. Okay? Something that Professor Rader here is amazing at. All right? Those cat-like reflexes. The second they fall, they're right away back up, not letting you stabilize top position. For those sort of people, especially, wrestlers, things like that, it is extremely important that you have combinations, particularly to take you into omoplatas and, things that give you some nice angles, all right? Trying to sweep someone that has great base right in front of you can be very, very hard, all right? So we need to get some angles. The omoplata is a great angle attack that we can combine with our sweeps. So, if, for example, I hit it really strong and he fell, okay? But before I could get up, he's already coming up. In this situation, now it's very important that I'm ready for the part two, okay? From here, I want to make sure I get my leg inside his arm. I don't want to allow him to come back up
with his arm inside my leg, okay? So as he comes up, I want to get my leg in front of his arm. Now I'll do the same motion. I'll start to step on his arm here, pull his arm in past my leg, knee and kick to get to the omoplata. So again, just kind of do it from the side a little bit. So I'm able to knock him over. As he comes up, look how I got my leg in front. Okay, my leg's already there. Okay, now I just start to go back to the other side, anchoring him down, pulling him in, and catching the omoplata. Okay. You guys will notice I'm doing the omoplata a little different than maybe some of you are used to. All right. I'm not bringing my foot to my head like this. Okay. I'm trying to be on my side and hit with my knee behind their arm, and then kick my leg over to the mat instead of towards my face. This will generate a lot more power in rotating them and taking their head down towards the mat and really kind of breaking their posture, all right? Which will make it easier for me to be able to get up and actually work to finish the omoplata instead of locking it and having to look for a sweep or being there for 2 or 3+ minutes. Okay, a lot of people can defend against the omoplata very well when they have good posture, all right? But if I knock them over initially, then it gives me a much more effective way to get the finish and get all the other nice techniques from the omoplata without having to deal with so much of his defensive posture, okay? So that's why I try, especially when they're down low, to hit all my omoplatas this way, okay? So instead of going like this, we're going to go ahead and lift up a little bit. Yeah, we're going to end up in this situation. Maybe you can slide out, you can stand, and just make life really hard on me, okay? Instead of taking my foot towards my face, I'm using my knee right here. And this will kind of almost give them a little bit of an armbar feel where they're going to have to turn. And if the knee behind the shoulder breaks his posture, his head was a little taller. Once I hit this, that's going to take him down. Add the kick at the end, and his head's all the way down. Now I have a lot more success in sitting up and being able to break him down before he has a chance to stand and get into good posture. All right, so I know I went a little long with that, kind of describing the omoplata itself, how I like to set it up. But, basically, we have that hammer sweep, which is kind of the spider guard version of the scissor sweep. And then from there, if they kind of spread their base, you can shoot triangle, you can come back with the omoplata. If they fall and come up, hit it with the omoplata, all right? This is a very great kind of natural feeling combination where you're going from the sweep to the sub very smoothly, all right? And actually used this exact combination in the Europeans earlier this year in my semifinals match to help me get the sweep, get on top, and finish from the top. So I went for the hammer sweep, came right back to the omoplata, all right? So I hope you guys like that combination. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll start to look at any other questions you guys have. Okay, one thing I'll point out to you guys, a lot of bigger people, a lot of like guys that are short, stocky, some people that I fought in the ultra heavyweight before, they pretty much pass primarily on their knees. All right. They don't stand and move around so much. Okay. They're more kind of one speed, looking to put a lot of weight and pressure on you. In which case, this is perfect. Now, most people though like to keep at least one knee up or maybe stand to pass the spider guard. Okay. If they're standing, things change a little bit. But I want to point out that if they have one knee up, we can still work this same sort of series. Okay. So let me go ahead and point that out for you guys. Actually, why don't you stand this way? So, like I said, most people are going to have one knee up at least, okay, to protect them from the triangle omoplatas, allow them to maybe use their leg to knock my foot off the bicep or whatever, okay? In this situation, I'm still going to do the same motion towards the hammer sweep, okay? I'm still going to spin out, all right? And I'm going to give myself as much of an angle as possible to where I can go into a daily Hiba. So whenever I'm here, I'm going to act like I'm going to the sweep and turn and bring my daily Hiba in, okay? Now, I can use the daily Hiba to still help me knock him over from the hammer sweep, okay? Whenever I extend and kind of turn my leg here, you see how that turns his body and makes him more vulnerable to getting knocked over, all right? And I can also come back and sweep in the other direction as well, okay? This is one of my favorite combinations, all right? Once again, we can combine the sweep attacks with the omoplata because a lot of people here, they get totally focused on keeping their base perfect, and a lot of times they sit back a little bit, yes, and they keep their arm extended, all right? When they sit back, yeah, maybe their base is a little better, but now I can bring my legs back out and come back over and go back to the omoplata, okay? So same thing, just a little more advanced level, all right? Kind of combining the spider guard with the De La Hiba here, all right? We're working the sweeps. He's basing really well. We come out, boom, hit the omoplata. Another thing I like to do from here is if they're not holding my collar and their hands kind of moving, maybe it's working on my leg. It's very common. I'll switch to wrist control. And while they're thinking about the sweep, I'll sit up and go right for the Kimura from here, okay? And with the De La Hiba in, he's going to have a really hard time moving to roll or defend this Kimura here, all right? His arm's all the way on the other side. So then I can start to bring this over and get this into a finish. But at the very least, you're going to have that omoplata there, all right? Especially when they're basing really well. Okay, the better the base is, the more the omoplata is going to show itself, all right? Because they're going to be doing a good job of shifting and moving, and that arm's going to become available at some point, all right? So there's another kind of variation. I wasn't sure how much time we would have if I'd be able to show that as well, but, I wanted to make sure that you guys had, a little higher level, way to apply this technique whenever they have the knee in the middle, okay? So at that point, guys, let me know if you have any questions, and we'll kind of start to close things out, all right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this series right here. Let me know what you think. And guys, one thing to keep in mind, you know, I wanted to keep things kind of on the same topic of the sweeps and submissions. You know, the submissions are a lot harder to attack whenever they're standing. You know, but one thing to remember, many times whenever we put in the daily Hiva, okay, so if he was standing, and I get control of his leg, and I extend him well, and I put the daily Hiva in. Most of the time when you put the daily Hiva in, people will go to that one knee, okay, go to that knee, to help them have a little better base and balance, okay, allow them to lean back, all right? This is also a common way people, you know, start to defend the berimbolo, okay? It's like sitting back on that one knee. So, you know, here in this situation, I like to make the daily, what I call a daily Hiva X. This is something I talk about a lot in the Guard Mastery series. But I make that daily Hiva X. Now I can switch and really keep him locked and start to work on his arms here. A lot of times I'll even come out to the collar and work on the neck from here as well, okay, with my chokes, all right? This is a position where you're totally able to combine your sweeps and passes together. Your sweeps and subs together, okay? And once again, I'm always paying attention to that arm. Maybe it comes forward a little bit, and I come out and I go back to the omoplata. You know, so if you like to play daily Hiva, and you set it up well when they're standing, you put that daily Hiva in, you know, a lot of times they'll sit to that one knee to kind of help maintain some base. And from there, look at what's happening with their arms, with their neck, okay? You know, I'll kind of change my grips a little bit from there, you know, maybe with the sweep, and then attack the neck, attack the arm, omoplatas, you know, it's all right there. So that's one way where we can kind of bridge what we took earlier, or what we did earlier, into what if the guy's standing, all right? When you put that daily Hiva in, and they go to one knee, you know, really look at your options there, all right? Look at their arms, look at their neck, and see, you know, what's available, all right? So that's a position where they're probably not expecting a submission attack. One person who does that well is Octavio Souza. I don't know if you guys have seen some of his matches lately. He's really good at finding from his daily Hiva or kind of sit-up guard. Yeah, whatever he's going to sit on. Whenever he's here working, he's looking at this elbow a lot, and he's been coming out and kind of hitting like almost like a really fast arm bar right here, and hitting that from there, making the person turn and land into the omoplata. He used this several times in competition over the last year, especially, and you know, that's one position, like, the guy has his arm right there. If he's not paying attention, you should be hitting that and not just thinking about the sweep, you know. So that's kind of like one person to give you some inspiration on how to set that up. All right, so check out some of his matches and how he uses it. So anytime you have that daily Hiva and they're on one knee, you know, really make sure you're paying attention to all that stuff. All right. Okay, guys, well, I really appreciate all the great feedback. You know, I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed today's class. I was really excited to show this stuff with you guys. This is, you know, kind of real bread and butter stuff for me, and, you know, things and ideas that I really believe in, trying to combine the sweeps and submissions together and make your guard as versatile and complete as possible. So I was really happy and excited to share these things with you guys. It doesn't look like we really have any more questions. But you know, once again, I really appreciate all the great feedback that I saw there, and I'm super excited to release my Guard Mastery DVD series. You know, this is one thing that when I was getting, you know, starting to think about releasing a DVD instructional, my first one, you know, everyone was kind of expecting me to do guard, because I was so much known as being a guard guy, coming up and using my guard, you know, to help me be successful in competition. And I took it the whole other route, you know, went with passing, And that really helped make my passing a lot better, even though I'd already spent a lot of time working on it. Once I really put it down on paper and you know, made the video set for it, it helped me understand what I do even more. And that my passing since then has gotten, you know, better, and I've been adding and kind of refining to the pressure passing set inside my coaching program. And I've had this, you know, extra 2 years or however long it's been since I did my first instructional to refine my guard even more as well. And you know, I knew I was going to do a guard set eventually. I've been kind of piecing it together for a long time. And as I was making it, I was like, man, this is going to be huge. This is going to be the biggest set I've ever done. And you know, I almost got a little nervous about it. I don't want to make it too big, you know. But I feel like I got everything I wanted in there just perfectly. It all focuses on, you know, hand in the collar or double sweep with a little bit of closed guard as well. And lots of submissions, lots of sweeps, tons of sweeps actually. You know, sweeps, there's so many combinations and ways to put it all together. And I'm just really, really happy with the final product. I also talk about other things like grip, you know, grip strategies, how to keep yourself in good position, as well as one thing that I do, because I already did the passing system first, and I know a lot of people have the pressure passing set. In this guard mastery set, after all my sweeps, I kind of point out and show you the next best transition to go right into your passing. And if you have the pressure passing set, you're going to be, you know, perfect in combining your sweep straight into the pass, knowing all the details of the pass, you know, from the pressure passing system. So it's really going to be kind of a complete tool to go with the pressure passing, your guard, your transitions, your grips, your passing, your submissions. It's all you know, chained together on point. So you know, I'm super excited about releasing that tomorrow, and I'm, you know, really happy to show you guys a little bit of what that's going to look like in this webinar today. So make sure that you go to the link and sign up to be one of the first 500 people to be able to receive the DVD at a 50% discount and free shipping, okay? You know, you guys know my normal DVDs sell for $147. The pressure passing system was $147, and that was 4 discs. This is going to be 5 discs and 50% off, okay? So you're talking well under $100 for a 5-disc set, like over 6 hours of content, and, you know, my whole game, my whole system on how I like to play guard, you know, laid out for you guys. So I really want to get this in as many hands as possible, and you know, really kind of put the final touches on completing my G game. And this is kind of that one big piece that was missing. So I just wanted to get it out there. That's why we're giving this big limited special here for the first 500. So sign up. You're going to get all the information about it tomorrow. And I hope you guys grab your set. If you're already a coaching program member, you know, you don't need to grab the DVD set. You guys already have all the information, all the techniques in the site. And we're going to get back to work on some more great stuff in the site very soon. And I hope some of you guys that grab the DVD will go one step further and join my coaching site and allow me to spend more time with you and help make you the best you can be on the mat. So with that being said, thanks for spending your day with me, guys. Take care. Thanks to Professor Rader for helping out. If you guys don't know, he's got his next MMA fight coming up in May. Really excited about that. Make sure to follow him, support him, and I appreciate all the love, everyone that's been you know, supporting me on the Stage Jiu-Jitsu project that I'm doing. And yeah, so that being said, guys, have a great day. Thank you very much.